Hello, and welcome to James Lester's Express Lane, where we get you out as fast as possible. Bringing on the newest week of Power Rankings. We had a lot of great football, we had more overtime. I can't remember any season with this many overtime games. We're not even halfway through it yet. Vikings finally pulled off a win, yay! We still have the same record as the Browns. And the same record as the Packers, so look on the bright side of life. A team that is nothing but bright, the Chiefs. Coming back to number one because of their stomping on the Jags defense. There's a lot I want to say about the Jags, but we'll wait till we get to the Jags. Number two, the Rams. They barely beat the Seahawks, but are still undefeated. They need to work on that defense. 2 games in a row, the opposing offense scored big. Freaking Kirk Cousins threw 400 plus yards. That defense, they need a deep player, I'm guessing. Something to at least stop the deep balls and all that. Will they do that? Is there anyone to trade for? Is there anyone who would be willing to trade for anything less than a second round draft pick? Maybe, maybe not. Rams will just have to wait and see. Number 3, at 4-1, the Saints. And this time they relied 99% on Drew Brees' arm, breaking Peyton Manning's record for the most yards with a 62-yard touchdown. How many more yards will he get? He has the rest of the season. He might come back next year, depending on how he feels. If they do well this year and get close, he'll be like, no, I want one more shot. If they win it, he might retire, but short of being like a scary injury, I don't see him retiring after this year. So he'll be back next year. So he might have thousands of yards more than what Peyton Manning had, making his record almost unbreakable. Speaking of teams with records, 18-1. The Patriots. They beat the Colts. Not the best team I know, but the Patriots get off to a slow start, and then they come back. Last year, 2-2. Finished 13-3. So, what's to stop them from doing that again? Next week, they do have the Chiefs, so 13-3, 12-4. It's probably going to be the record. Although, again, the Patriots always start slow, but then they come back. What if this is the week that they come back strong and they beat the Chiefs? I don't see the Chiefs losing to the Patriots, but the Patriots are the Patriots for a reason. There's a reason why they've been to so many Super Bowls lately. God. Man, they hit a couple speed bumps early on, but it sure as heck didn't derail this team. Next, team that was on bye week, the Bears. Yeah, they're on bye week, but they're still 3-1. They're still... God, when they're playing against the freaking Buccaneers, there's like, all right, well, let's have 2 white quarterbacks out there. Yeah, neither of them run. They both throw the ball. And hike the ball to Mitch Trubisky. He tosses it like half a yard to the running back. He's doing the jet sweep thing, and then done. Like, they're just having fun at that point. They're playing backyard football. So, and I don't see the Bears slowing down. And the next week is Miami. Yeah, they're playing against Miami next week. So I see them going 4-1. Next, speaking of a team that's 4-1, the Bungles. First half, it looked like it was going to be a blowout. But it's not over until it's over. They came back in convincing fashion and win it. But against the Dolphins. A team that started 3-0, and now can't seem to play 2 weeks in a row. Although the 3-0 was against the Jets, the Raiders, and the Titans. But the Titans were doing well, and then they lost to the Bills. This entire season, yes, you had the Rams and the Chiefs just right out the gate. But everyone else, the Saints are 4-1, but they struggled to beat the Browns. But the Browns are 2-1. Like, they're not the pushovers they used to be. And if they had a competent kicker, they would have won that game. They would have beaten the Steelers. They'd be 4-1 right now. They had a competent kicker that could actually kick a field goal and kick an extra point. They'd be 4-1 right now. They lost by 3 points against the Saints, missed 8 points from the kicker. They had to tie the Steelers. If their kicker had made at least 1 kick ever, they would have won that game. They would be 4-1 right now if they had a competent kicker. So yeah, the Saints struggling to beat them may not be as big of a ding against them as used to be, because the Browns are actually playing like a football team. But getting away from that, the Panthers. They barely beat the Giants, but the Giants have a running back and a wide receiver that are just phenomenal. And while Eli Manning, I feel, is overrated, he's still a starter for a reason. So the Panthers might have some worries about their defense that can be worked on before they face the Redskins next week. Just that defense. But then again, like I said, it's Saquon Barkley, it's Odell Beckham Jr. Like, that's one hell of an offense to be going up against. They just got lucky that Cam Newton was a good enough quarterback to get the team and keep them in it. Sheesh. Next, the Steelers. Rough start to the season, much like what the Patriots had. But they're coming back. And they said week 7, Le'Veon Bell will be showing up. Now, missing all this practice time, missing preseason. Like, is he going to be in football form? He may not need to be. James Conner has been doing great. I think part of that is the Steelers focusing on him for them to go, hey, Le'Veon Bell, this guy's doing what you do. Only difference is he gets 76 yards on 8 plays, while Le'Veon Bell gets that on 1 play, because he makes the cut. He finds the seam up the middle. Like, he does it, and then he's just gone. While James Conner doesn't have that breakaway speed, doesn't find the seam, he doesn't go out the outside and just down the sideline. Hi guys, haha, you're never gonna catch me. So Le'Veon Bell comes back. Would not doubt a 4 to 5 game winning streak easily when he comes back. Now, 2 teams. I have them on the board, even though they both lost. The Jags lost to the Chiefs. Everyone's lost to the Chiefs, so it doesn't ding them that badly. The Titans lost to the Bills. But they had the same record. They're both just... No one seems to want to win the AFC South. The Texans are now 2-3. The Colts are 1-4, I think. 1-3, 1-4. No, they haven't had a bye week yet, so they're 1-4. Just... None of these things like, yeah, I'm going to take the lead. I'm going to be 4-1 in this, and now we're going to lose it. Like, now that team seems to want to win. The Titans beat the Jags. The Jags just go out and... Great defense, but they have Blake Bortles. They could have traded for another quarterback. They could have picked up Kirk Cousins in free agency. Kirk Cousins was offered a little bit more money by the Jets and turned it down because at the end of your career, what do people remember more? The money you made or the playoff appearances? He wants to know what it's like to play football in January. He could have been playing football in January for the Jags. But the Jags, for some reason, went with Blake Bortles, whose best year is equal to Alex Smith's worst year. It's just, you could have had a competent quarterback. You could have given money to a quarterback. You could have been out there and winning games. You could have been out there and been 4-1 or 5-0 with a quarterback and actually score touchdowns. But they went with Blake Bortles. Speaking of teams that don't want to win, the Redskins have the best record in the NFC East at 2-2. Cowboys are 2-3, Eagles are as well, and the Giants are 1-4. This could be a year where a 7-9 team wins a playoff spot and hosts a playoff game, just like the Seahawks. Wow, the Seahawks have done before. Will it actually happen? Again, no one in the NFC East seems to want to win. The Redskins have all the pieces. Josh Norman, anyone? Remember him? He's still a pretty good defensive player. It's just... Well, part of the Redskins' issue this game was the Saints just had a huge lead early on. It's like, well, we can't rely on the run game. We can't, keep defense honest because defense knows they're not going to hand the ball off. They're going to throw it. They need to throw it. They need to score touchdowns. They can't be, 2 yards here, 3 yards there, 5 yards there. Oh, we got a big play for 11 yards on a run to get into field goal range. No. They need 20, 30, 40 yards of play. They need to get in the end zone now. and they just couldn't do it. The Saints defense, 1 week, just garbage. Next week, meh. But sometimes meh is all you need. They spent so many draft picks last year on defense. The defense should be better. Maybe they just had a slow start, and this was starting them picking it up, being able to keep the Redskins in check and just dominate them. God, can you imagine being a team that goes 10-6 or 11-5, and then not making the playoffs because this team went 7-9 but won their division? Sad. Now, teams that might bounce back. The Texans. As they knock off the rust off of Deshaun Watson, they get better and better. J.J. Watt is tied in the league for the most sacks with T.J. Watt, his little brother. So 6 sacks from one player, pretty damn good. Rest of the defense, maybe needs to step it up. But again, with the Texans, as they knock off the rust from Deshaun Watson, they get better and better. It did take a field goal in overtime to win against the Cowboys, but Deshaun Watson had 375 yards and a touchdown and an interception. 375 yards is nothing to sneeze at, and that was with only one throw to Will Fuller, who can be a dynamic player. They could have gotten the ball spread around a little bit more, but then again, it could have been a case of everyone on him. Oh shit, we left him open, and they just kept doing that over and over. Like Denard Hopkins got all the passes. It's like, we have 4 wide receivers out there and Denard Hopkins. We have 3 wide receivers out there and Denard Hopkins. Let's run play and Denard Hopkins. Denard Hopkins just had one hell of a game. But was that just because the Cowboys were playing the defense a certain way, keeping everyone on one player like Will Fuller, leaving Denard Hopkins one-on-one for Deshaun Watson to throw the ball to? Next week we'll find out more. Another team that can bounce back, the Ravens. Losing to the Browns is just impossible, and yet they did it in overtime. Joe Flacco is not that great a quarterback, and he hurt the team with his huge contract. Little known fact, or maybe not little known, the highest paid quarterback has never won a Super Bowl. This year it's Aaron Rodgers. But Joey Flacco is still a high paid quarterback. He still makes a ton of money. And for what? He won a Super Bowl, got a huge contract after, done nothing since. And you know why? Because they don't have money to keep talent. Wow, this running back's really good. And he goes to another team. Wow, this safety's really... And he goes to another team because we don't have money to pay him. Wow, look at this free agent. This guy's in free agency. Man, we could... Oh, we can't afford him. That's why the Patriots do so well every year. Tom Brady is not the highest paid quarterback. 5 rings. Not the highest paid quarterback. He is not the highest paid quarterback. No, 4 rings. Lost twice to the Giants. Once. Oh, yeah, 4 rings. So, 4 rings. Still not the highest paid quarterback. 7 Super Bowl appearances. Not the highest paid quarterback. Gronkowski. One hell of a tight end. Not the highest paid tight end. I don't know if they have anyone on their team that's the highest paid. And that's why they keep winning. But that's why they attract talent. It's a case of chicken or the egg. Are they good because they don't blow a shit ton of money on one player? So they have money to keep other people? Or is it, oh, they keep winning, so then other players go, you know, I could take $13 million a year from them, or $8 million a year from the Patriots, but go to the Super Bowl. You know what? I'll take a $5 million pay cut to go to the Super Bowl. Well, then the Patriots are not blowing all their money on one player. So they have the money. Well, that $5 million, we can spread around to these 2 players. That player gets an extra $3 million. That player gets an extra $2 million. It's still, no, $3 million less than what they would have gotten from that team. It's still $5 million less than what they would have gotten from that team. But it's a little bit more than we would normally paid. But because we had the money to spare, because we didn't dump it on one player, we got the money. But, unfortunately for the Ravens, all the money on one player. But, North right now belongs to the Bungles. There's a reason why they're known as the Bungles. If the Steelers don't come back, and win the North, the Ravens can pick them off. There'll be no rip press effing comments this week. It's just the teams before, like the 49ers losing to the Cardinals, getting the Cardinals the first win on the year. If the 49ers go 1-15, would not be surprised. They went from Jimmy G undefeated to, yeah, we're just not going to start a quarterback. Who are you hiking the ball to? No one. We just hike the ball, it bounces down the field, defense runs, picks it up, runs in it for a touchdown. We don't have a quarterback anymore. We don't throw starters out there. We're pulling people off the practice squad, throwing them out there. We don't want to get the guys who can play hurt, just like we got Jimmy G hurt. So, screw it. Hike. And it goes down the field about 17 yards, gets picked up by the defense. Hey, we didn't get anyone hurt, so we're happy. Man, just feel bad for them. That they were going to be, we're playoff spawn, we're going to the Super Bowl. We got the quarterback. Gets hurt. Go nowhere. Do not pass go. Do not get 2 wins. What do you guys think? Teams should be higher. Teams should be lower. Teams shouldn't be on there at all. It's just... I was thinking about putting the Vikings on, but the Vikings have the same record as the Browns. If the Browns don't go on the list, Vikings shouldn't be on the list. If they win next week, then I'll move them up. But they have to win next week. Come on, Vikings. Please win next week so I can put you back in the power rankings. Please. That's all I'm asking you. Anyways, guys, as always, like, subscribe, comment down below, and have a wonderful day.